Feathers and quilt blocks are a match made in quilting heaven. Hey, it's me, Angela Walters from quiltingismytherapy.com, you know, your favorite machine quilting cheerleader. And welcome to the third video in the Machine Quilting Feathers Free Motion Challenge Quilting Along video series. Throughout this free video series, I'm showing you how to quilt feather designs in all areas of your quilts, from those skinny borders and sashings to blocks and even backgrounds. If you haven't already watched the previous videos in the series, be sure to check them out. All you have to do is click the link in the description box below. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to quilt beautiful, luscious feathers in quilt blocks of all shapes and sizes. Not only will you learn several different designs for quilting feathers in those quilt blocks, I'm going to show you the technique for adapting feathers to blocks of all sizes and shapes. We'll talk about how to quilt feathers in smaller block sections or irregular pieced quilt blocks. We'll learn designs that are perfect for those larger, more complex blocks. Plus, I'm going to demonstrate how to quilt the designs on a sewing machine and a long arm quilting machine. So let's get to it. First up, let's talk about how to quilt feathers in the smaller individual sections of blocks. Quilting feathers in the individual portions of a quilt block can help make them a little bit more manageable and create some really cool secondary effects. And as a bonus, newer machine quilters might find it a little bit easier to quilt feathers in these confined areas as opposed to bigger feathers all over the quilt. Basically what I'm going to do is instead of looking at the larger block, I'm going to start zeroing in on the individual sections that make them up. Now since every quilt block is different, let me show you the technique that I use to pick out designs for my blocks. It just might make picking out designs a little bit more manageable. The first thing I do is identify the sections that I want to quilt. This might be the individual pieces that make up the block, or it might be a combination of them. The trick is to try to end up with a section that is a size that you're comfortable with quilting, whether that's a bigger section with multiple blocks or a smaller piece. But I will say that quilting really big or really small sections can be a little bit tricky, so try to find that sweet spot. Once I have that figured out, I'm going to plan how I'm going to work my way through the block. Now, this might seem a little bit overkill at first, but if I know how I need to work my way through the block, it's going to help me pick designs that help me accomplish that. So for instance, looking at this block, I can tell I'm going to want to quilt it in a circular motion by quilting my section, moving on to the next, and continuing on. Now this obviously isn't always going to be the case. For instance, maybe I'm working with a 9-patch block or a block that's on a grid. In that case, I might want to work in rows. Either way, deciding how I'm going to work through the block first and then picking the designs will make it a little bit easier. Once that's out of the way, I'm going to decide how feathers are going to fit in these sections. Depending on the size and the shape of the area that I'm filling in, I might quilt a whole feather or a part of a feather or a different design altogether. So for instance, in this example, I know I'm going to want to quilt each section with a design that brings me back to my starting point so I can move on and do the next one. I think this area is going to be big enough for a feather if I shrink it down and quilt it kind of on a smaller scale. However, these sections might not be quite big enough. So in this section, I might choose to quilt part of a feather. For instance, just quilting the petals that extend from one side of it. So I'm really kind of looking at it and asking myself, what kind of feathers do I want to quilt in this area? Do I want to throw in any other designs? How do I want to break up the feather to create that different effect, knowing that there's no wrong answer? Once I have a game plan and have my designs picked out, it's time to start quilting. Working my way through the block, quilting those sections until the whole thing is finished. Now sometimes I'm going to find myself stuck or in an area I don't want to be, so I'm going to make sure that I use traveling or echoing to help me maneuver my way around that area. Let me show you a couple quilted examples before we get started. In this particular block, I quilted the little mini feathers in each of these sections, using that more custom feather design that we learned in the last video. But then in the smaller sections, I decided to skip the feather altogether and add a little bit of an echoed curve like this. I love how those feathers and those shapes fill in those sections and create an overall secondary pattern that looks gorgeous. You can also combine your feathers with other designs. For instance, in this particular block, I decided to quilt half a feather and connect it to some diagonal lines right here. I love how it gives it kind of a swirly effect and really fills in each of those sections even though they're different sizes. In this example, I quilted one petal of the feather and then added a little swirl to fill in the rest of that area, kind of combining the two designs within the same section. And in this example, I just have some beautiful feathers filling in all those sections. And of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many different ways you can do this. But let's go to the sewing machine and see what it looks like to quilt some of these out on our panel. So in this bigger blue section, I think I can fit a little feather, quilting it so that it extends out into that section, fills it in, and returns back to the starting point. Now I know I need to move on to my next section, so I'm going to use a little bit of traveling to help me get there. Now in this section, I don't have quite enough room for a full feather, so what I think I'm going to do is quilt a partial feather in this area. But since I've ended on the opposite side from where I started, I'm going to use traveling to help get me back to that point. Now, of course, I'm using a contrasting thread so you can really see what I'm doing on camera, but if I were actually quilting this on a quilt, I'd use a thread color that blends in a little bit better. But what I really love about this is you can change it up in so many different ways. Not only could I quilt little feathers, I can quilt partial feathers, I could combine it with other designs altogether, I could do some teardrops. I love how your imagination is your only limit. Now I'm just playing around here, trying some different designs in each of these sections. However, if I were quilting this on a quilt, I might narrow it down to one or two. I just love quilting those smaller sections with different styles of feathers and creating some totally different looks. Quilting larger quilt blocks does require a different approach, but it doesn't have to be daunting. I'm going to show you how to quilt some of my favorite designs for those larger blocks. First up, let's talk about the feathered swirl. One of my favorite ways to quilt medium-sized square blocks like this is with a feather swirl. It adds that curvy, feathery kind of wreath look, but starts and stops at the same point, making it nice and quick to move on. So starting from one corner of my block, I'm going to quilt a big swirl that works its way towards the inside. And I'm trying to leave plenty of room in between the lines because I'm going to come back and add those petals in that area. Then from here, I'm going to treat this as a spine of my feather, quilting petals that work their way around the outside of that. So from the center of my swirl, I'm going to go right into that first half heart shape. Quilting that line that curves out towards that other line and then looks like it's merging into that spine. I really want those lines to look like they're coming together. So from there, I'm going to quilt my next petal, quilting that line that curves out and back. And again, as I'm quilting, I'm trying to fill in this area as much as possible. I don't want any gaps in here that I have to come back and fill in later. And now that I got the idea of how the design goes, I'm going to keep going, working my way around that swirl. Sometimes I'm going to have more space, and sometimes I'm going to have less space for my petals. I'm simply going to quilt them so they fill in that area as much as possible. Even if that means that some of my petals are bigger and some are smaller, that's totally fine. So don't be afraid to really extend it out towards that edge. Continuing on, working my way back to that starting point. Now, if you're struggling with this design, you might find it helpful to draw it out beforehand. Sometimes just drawing out the design helps your brain learn how it goes together. Then it's easier to come to your machine and quilt it. I just love how you have that beautiful feather look that kind of curls in on that block, but still returns back to its starting point, making it easy to move on. And after you're done quilting, if you have any gaps in between the feather and the border of your area, you can use some echoing or a different design to fill them in. This design not only works in squares, it works perfectly in hexagons and circle shapes as well. It's going to be quilted exactly the same way, starting from one corner of the block, quilting that swirl to the inside, and then quilting your petals, working your way back out. Now, if you're quilting along with me on the custom quilt panel I designed for the video series, 2 of the blocks on this panel already have the design printed on there. Think of it like training wheels for quilting. Quilting along those lines is going to help you see how the design goes together and help it click for future blocks. And as you quilt along those lines, don't stress out about keeping the quilting perfectly on them. Instead, look ahead of your needle and trust your hands to bring you there. Even if the quilting isn't perfectly on those lines, it's still going to look great once you step back and look at it. Now, let's see how fun it is to quilt this design on a long arm. I'm going to start by quilting that large swirl that ends towards the center of my block, being sure to leave plenty of room all around it to add my petals. Then from this point, I'm going to start quilting that half heart shape, wrapping around that swirl, trying to fill the block in as much as possible. And don't be afraid to really extend those petals out to fill in the area. Even if that means that some petals are smaller and some are larger, it's still going to look great because it's filling in the block completely. I just love how it has that beautiful curvy feather look, but it starts and ends at the same spot, making it nice and easy to continue your way along the quilt. For the next design, let's break it on down with the 4 feather motif. Sometimes the best thing to do with these larger blocks is to break them down into smaller sections and fill them in. First, I'm going to divide the block or the area into smaller sections. So as I'm looking at this block right here, I'm pretending that these two pieces are one larger block. Then, using my handy Basic 8 stencil, I'm going to mark the center lines to divide it up into 4 smaller squares. Now that I have those reference lines marked out, it's time to start quilting. What I'm going to do is start from the center of my block and quilt a feather that fills in each one of those sections. And it can be any kind of feather. The most important thing is I want to be able to return back to my starting point so I can move right on to the next. For this design, I'm going to use that classic feather. That feather has the petals that start from the top and are quilted in those half heart shapes. Now, one thing I like to do before I start quilting in the sections is to quilt a tiny little motif right here in the center. I just feel like it kind of ties everything together. However, you can totally leave this part out if you'd like. So just starting from the center, I'm quilting a line that curves out to that reference line and back, working my way all the way around until I have 4 little petals that make that middle motif. Now from here, I'm going to start by quilting my feather out into that section. So I'm going to start by quilting that spine that angles out towards the opposite corner, ending into that teardrop. Then I'm going to begin quilting my petals so they extend towards that outer area, working my way back towards the center. But the most important thing to remember here is I want to make sure it's filled in as much as possible. And we can already see that this petal is a little bit bigger than this one, and that's because I have this corner to fill in right here. I'm not worried about keeping them all the same size. I'm more focused on filling in that space. I might have some petals that are really big and some petals that are really small, and that's totally fine. Then I'm going to echo along that spine and do the same on the other side. Now, if I do happen to end up with gaps in between them, it's totally fine. I can come back and add some echoing or a different filler to handle that. Until I end up back at the center of the block. And there I have my first section. Now I'm going to do the same in each of the remaining sections, filling it in. And as you're quilting them in all different directions, don't be afraid to reposition the quilt as necessary. And as I'm quilting in each of those sections, I'm not worried about making them line up with the previous one. I mean, sure, it's fine if those petals do line up, but it's definitely not something I want to worry about. Quilting the feathers so that they come back to the middle just means that I can quickly and efficiently quilt this block without having to start and stop a new line of quilting for each section. And when I'm done, I have 4 individual feathers that come together to create a beautiful motif that fills in those larger blocks. Now, like I said, you can use this technique with any kind of feather. So let me show you what it looks like to quilt it with a custom feather. And I'm going to show you what that looks like on the long arm quilting machine. So starting in the center, I'm going to start by quilting my feather in this first square. But since I need to end up back where I started, I'm going to quilt this feather so that it doesn't have a spine. After I get to the top, then I'm going to quilt my way right back down. I'm bringing that petal in towards the very center, pretending that my spine is right there. And now that I've done 2 petals on one side, I'm going to do the same on the other side. So here we can see I have 2 petals on one side, 2 on the other, and I'm going to do the same, working my way up to the outer corner. And like I said, even though I don't have a spine in here right now, eventually I'm going to come back and quilt that in. And as my area gets bigger, my petals are going to get longer, and that's totally fine. The most important thing here is that I want to fill in this whole quadrant, leaving as little gap in between the feathers and that marked line as possible. Now I know in quilting this on a long arm, it can be really scary to extend that petal way out into space. But trust me, this feather looks a lot better when it fills that whole area in. And when I get to the point where I don't have enough room for any more petals, I'm going to end in a teardrop that fills that last bit of area. And there I have my first feather filling in that quadrant. So from here, I'm just going to quilt right down the center, trying to keep it as centered as I can, but I'm not worried about making it perfect. The most important thing here is I just get back to that center point. And then once I have that quadrant finished, it's time to do the next. And like usual, I'm using a thread color that contrasts with the block so you can really see the quilting. However, if I was quilting this on an actual quilt, I would definitely use a thread color that blended in with the background fabric. After I'm done quilting this feather, all I want to see is the beautiful unquilted space in the middle of those petals. Not necessarily every little bump and bobble that I've made along the way. Now, while this feather does have a little bit of backtracking along that spine, I find that it's worth it because I don't have to tie off and start a new line of quilting for each of the quadrants. But of course, you can switch this up to fit your preferences. If you don't like all that backtracking, you can simply start a new line of quilting, like I said, and continue on. And remember, it's not about whether or not those feathers are perfect. It's more about the fact that they fill in that area as much as possible. Because when I'm done, I have a beautiful 4-part feather motif that really draws attention to the center of that block. For the next design, we're going to use quilting to break up those larger blocks while creating a complex looking design that's easy and fun to quilt. This works especially well in piece blocks such as this one, where I have a center square and an outer ring like this. So starting from one corner, I'm going to quilt a straight line towards the midpoint of that center block. I'm going to use a ruler to help me keep that line kind of straight-ish, but you can totally leave out this part if you'd like. Then from there, I'm going to quilt another straight line that goes on to the next corner. And I'm going to repeat that, working my way around the block till I get back to my starting point. And if you want to make quilting this block a little bit more efficient, at some point when you're touching that inner square, you can go ahead and quilt it, returning to that point, and then continuing on with your design. But for now, I'm going to leave out that part and just keep on quilting those lines. And when I'm done, I have this star kind of shape that works its way around that center block, leaving me with an unquilted area right here that's perfect for feathers. For a larger block or a more complex looking design, if you wanted to, you could add some more echo lines before adding those feathers. But once I'm done with my straight lines and I'm ready to move on, I'm going to quilt the petals of a feather in this area right here, quilting them so they extend from this quilted line. Now you can quilt any kind of feather with this technique. I'm going to do the more classic design with those half heart shapes. Now, one of the trickiest parts about this design is knowing that I'm not going to have much room in this corner. So just know that the petals are going to be smaller in that area and wider as I get towards the middle. So I'm quilting those half heart shapes so they extend from that line, swoop out, fill in the area, and come back looking as though they're merging into that quilted line. Now, as I approach that corner and I run out of room, I'm just going to quilt a line that curves that point and move on to the next side. And just like we've seen with the other designs, I want to quilt those petals so they extend out in that space as much as possible. I don't want any big gaps in between the edge of my area and the petals. And now all I have to do is continue doing that, working my way around the block, quilting those petals along each side until I come back to my starting point. I just love how those straight lines create a secondary pattern and how that feather kind of wraps around the outside. And this design also looks great when quilted with a custom feather. I'm going to show you what that looks like on the long arm quilting machine. Starting from one corner of my block, I'm going to quilt a straight line that goes towards the midpoint of the inner block. You could measure that point out if you'd like, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Then I'm going to quilt another straight line that takes me on to the next corner. Now I'm going to do the same on the remaining sides, returning back to my starting point. And now I have this kind of star shape that wraps around that center block. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and start quilting your feathers right now, or I can quilt another echo line inside the previous one just to build it up a little bit. And once I've worked my way all the way around the block, I have that beautiful kind of star shape. Let's add some feathers in this unquilted area right here. Now this might be a little tricky because the area that we're filling in with those petals gets smaller and bigger. Just quilt those petals so that they extend towards the edge, trying to fill in that area as much as possible. And when I don't have quite enough room to add any more petals, I'm just going to quilt a line that arcs out to that point and continue on the next side. And again, when I run out of room to add petals, I'm just going to quilt a line that arcs out to that point and continue on the next side. And you can really change up the look of this design by adding more or less of the diagonal lines and changing up the feather shape. But what I love about it is no matter how you quilt it, it's really going to draw your attention to the center of the block and allow you to use feathers in those smaller areas. Now it's your turn. If you're quilting along with me on the panel I designed just for the video series, go ahead and fill in the areas highlighted in red with the designs of your choice. You can try practicing the designs that we learned in the video, or you can try creating your own block designs. Either way, it's going to look amazing on your quilt. And for even more quilting encouragement, be sure to check out the Free Motion Challenge Quilting Along Facebook group. It's the perfect way to cheer on other quilters, share pictures of your progress, and get any of those questions answered that you might have. And as always, I have free downloadable quilting diagrams that will help you be successful with the designs that we're learning in the series. Or if you need a little bit more in-depth instruction, you can check out the expanded resource PDF. It's going to have everything that you need to be successful with the designs that we're learning throughout the video series. To learn more about either one of those, all you have to do is click the link in the description box below or visit quiltingismytherapy.com. I'll be back soon with the next video in the series where we're going to learn how to quilt feathers in those background areas of our quilt, as well as how to adapt those designs for bigger borders. It's going to be so much fun. Until then, everybody, happy quilting.